We would be honored if you would join us.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. Go ahead. Make my day.
This is Sparta!
First rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, I got a question. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Turk and Raz podcast. My name is Turk and I'm here with my good buddy Raz. We bring you our thoughts and reactions to what's happening in pop culture today and go back in time to revisit classic films of the 80s and 90s.
Ho, 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 ho. How you doing, Turk? It is the holiday season.
Merry Christmas, Raz.
Merry Christmas. You got your Christmas shirt.
Yeah, but I like yours better. You got a bunch of booze on it.
They have booze, and we also have real booze.
Yeah.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
That was a better one.
That was a better one. Where's your little flashing light there with your little elf?
There we go.
He's got a gangster rapper here. So, tell me, Turk, Are you a gangster rapper in real life?
My rapping game is lacking a little. I just rapped a few gifts for the missus, but I think I still remember how.
I think I might have rapped one.
Okay.
Still have a few.
That's
to
not
rap.
bad. Pretty good. I rapped about 4.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Like, it is only the 20th.
Yeah, we have no time left.
It's a busy time. It's a great time.
It is a great time.
Isn't it? Okay, so we're here for our special Christmas episode of the Turk and Raz podcast.
Yes, and what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about one of the most popular Christmas movies ever.
Ooh, that's enticing. What's it called?
Well, but before we get there...
Okay, yeah, let's wait.
We were going to talk about some Halloween movies back in October.
Yeah.
It never happened. Yeah, we'll do it next year. So we're doing Christmas this year.
You know what? And there's also Valentine's Day to come up, and Easter, and all the holidays. We're going to do them all.
And St. Patty's Day with Father
Oh,
O'Malley.
yes. Love season come with green beer.
That's perfect. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about...
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great film. It's campy, it's stupid, it's simple, it's an easy watch. It's it makes one of the best watchings every year.
Like, this one is, like I told you, I don't really watch Christmas movies like I do the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
This is the one that I probably watch once every year.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an annual film. 100%.
Yeah, this is the one, like, if you talk to people about their top 10 or top 5 Christmas movies of all time, Christmas Vacation's usually on the list.
Yeah, I've read online other people's lists are much different. People say that this one's like shitty. They're like, I don't get it. This is stupid. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, but it's different for everybody. If you like the Chevy Chase National Lampoon comedy, you're gonna love this one.
And they don't make movies like this really anymore.
No.
And still holds up.
It does. It's great to reminisce and see some of the old actors again, because most of them have passed on. Some of the older ones, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. And when you see Chevy Chase, he's getting up there.
Oh yes, yeah. He doesn't look quite the same as he did back then.
No, he doesn't. And Father Time is undefeated.
That's right.
But either way, this movie is an all-time classic. People love it.
Yep.
Besides this, you happen to be a Christmas aficionado. Among this one, what else do you like watching?
Among my favorites annually are A Christmas Story. I find that Elf is becoming a newer classic for me. I really enjoy that one. What else is there? Christmas with the Cranks. That's another one that I don't mind. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen. It's actually pretty funny.
I saw that one.
Jamie Lee Curtis is good in it. She's pretty funny. Yeah, she just plays that overbearing, kind of really caring mother, and it gets super excited when her daughter comes to town, and of course the dad, Tim Allen's like, our holidays are ruined because our daughter's coming home, but he wants to go to Hawaii or whatever because they get all spray tanned up for it, but she's like, oh, my baby's coming home. We're canceling the holiday. We're having Christmas at home. It's pretty funny.
That's right. He was really hoping they would go away, and then their daughter's like, well, I'm coming home like she's in college.
Yeah. And I'm bringing Enrique, like her newfound boyfriend, this hunk of a guy, meeting the family for the first time. So
yeah. And there's one with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. What's that? Is that?
I think that one's called Four Christmases. You know what? I have not seen it yet. Is it good?
It's not too bad. Well, it's basically they're a couple that they want to go away, or they basically don't have a family, like they're kidless and stuff. So it's one of those where they realize that their relationship could be better if they have more and family, because they want to go away, but then something happens, they can't go.
Okay.
I've seen it once, and I might have been inebriated when I saw it.
I'll have to check it out.
I don't tell my mom. But it's not too bad. I also now I say I'm not a big Christmas watcher, but I have watched the Santa Claus series, and I don't mind those.
No, I have not.
Tim Allen.
Oh wait, I did see number one. Yes, I did see that one.
That's the best one.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's a Home Alone.
Of course, Home Alone. Yeah.
I never got past Home Alone 2. After that, I was done with that series.
Yep, that's all there should be.
But didn't you watch or saw the trailer for the one that's on Disney Plus?
I didn't see the trailer, or did I? I know I saw a picture of a screenshot of the trailer.
You just showed it to me.
I think I sent it to you, right?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But not surprised.
No, not in today's day and age, no.
On a side note, there's like a Mighty Ducks series on there?
I heard about it. I haven't checked it out yet.
I'm surprised. I figured you would have.
I know. I don't know. Gotta get around to it, I guess, eventually.
Well, anyways, there's lots to watch on there.
Yeah, there is.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, on that note, we probably should put the coordinates in and hop into DeLorean, right?
Yes, let's do it. Yeah, so what are the coordinates?
December 1st, 1989. Okay, here we are. We're jingle-jangling with National Lampoon's Vacation. And of course, it's a Warner Brothers movie. Is that what we're going to do, is just watch and talk about Warner Brothers movies?
Well, that and Joe, what's his name?
Joe Pelletin.
Yeah, we're doing his movies and Warner Brothers movies.
Yeah. And I guess maybe Richard Donner.
Of course, Dick Donner.
Okay, so, besides that, Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation was written by John Hughes, and we know who that is.
Oh, yeah, super popular director.
He wrote Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I did not know that one.
Yes, he did that. Pretty in Pink, directed Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Weird Science, Uncle Buck.
Yeah. I think he just wrote every 80s film.
Well, in my opinion, he wrote any 80s movie that meant anything.
We'll go with that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The movie stars Chevy Chase as Clark Griswold.
Of course.
And this is the third movie in the series.
Did you know that out of the whole Vacation series, this is the only one where they actually don't go anywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the only vacation that they actually just stay home.
Surprisingly, this is actually the best out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Funniest.
One could say that the vacation was going out to get the Christmas tree. And that could be about it.
Very true.
Yeah.
So it was vacation at home.
Yeah, staycation. Yeah.
Staycation. Yeah. And it also starred Beverly D'Angelo as Ellen Griswold.
Ellen is great. She's been by his side the whole time, right?
Yes, she has. Like, she's a special woman.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Cousin Eddie, played masterfully by Randy Quaid.
Yep.
And rounding out the kids is Juliette Lewis as Audrey Griswold.
Yep.
And Johnny Galecki as Russ Griswold. And like we just put in our coordinates, the movie came out December 1st, 1989. And it actually grossed $73 million at the box office. Debuted at number 2 at the theaters. Back to the Future 2 was still number 1. That movie,
of course.
It opened November 22nd, so it
Wow.
was... And by the third weekend, actually, National Lampoons actually took the top spot for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And it's the highest grossing out of the vacation movies.
You know, that makes sense because I think it's just more desire. Like, Christmas films always do, most Christmas films do really, really well just because they're time sensitive, you know? Whereas, like, in the summer vacation doesn't necessarily mean you're only going to watch it in the summer. Like, it's just one of those movies, like, you kind of forget about because no one thinks about watching movies in the summer, you know? But Christmas, everyone hunkers down, grabs a few movies, and sits down with the kids to watch film. This is a perfect start.
It's perfect, and you can, like, introduce this movie, like, almost at any age range, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, it's super family safe.
But I'm not a parent, so just letting you know, I'm not the guy to be taking that advice from.
Yeah, you can't talk like that.
You know what? I'm going to.
Okay.
Because it's Christmas and I'm drinking eggnog.
That's right.
And also, John Hughes used to write for National Lampoon magazine, and then they turned Vacation into a movie. And a little more tidbits to that is that Harold Ramis directed that first movie. Did you know?
I think I heard something like that.
And another piece of trivia as it relates to John Hughes, and you see in this movie because Chevy Chase wears a Chicago's Blackhawk jersey.
Yeah.
These movies, all his movies are kind of like based in the Chicago metropolitan area.
Another tidbit about John Hughes, I believe John Hughes wasn't prepared to make a Christmas film for National Lampoons. He had actually told them that he couldn't really find a good story, and until he was perusing with some old Christmas films, one called Christmas 59, and pulled from that story, and I'm assuming that the movie came from 1959, I would assume, and he kind of went through that story and kind of remade it for this, for 1989, so it was a 30-year-old story.
That makes sense.
Usually
most movies are kind of come from like older stories.
Yeah, I think that's great because he wasn't really eager to do a Christmas film until he kind of came upon this one and said, this one will be perfect for what we're doing.
Thank God. Well, I think for Christmas movies, it's almost like a trilogy. Christmas Vacation, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles, and actually Home Alone because he wrote those as well.
Yeah, that's great.
He for a long time was directing, but after a while, I think he just quit directing and just wrote movies.
He must have just got so tired because he was busy.
He was very busy, and also he was kind of like, he was very dejected from like the Hollywood studio kind of thing. Because he's a guy that, from New York. He was an everyday guy. He just didn't fit into Hollywood, and eventually he just I wouldn't say sold out, but he's just I'll just write movies, and for the rest of his career and his life, he just wrote certain movies like Beethoven, 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close. And he never really, the last movie he directed was Curly Sue, and that was
I remember that one.
I've never seen that.
It's good. What's his name? Belushi. Yeah.
Jim Belushi.
Jim. It was Jim, yeah.
Yeah, cute movie. And one thing about his movies, they're wacky and zany, and this is what's so great about Christmas Vacation, is that it's crazy and stupid, and there's party humor, but there's also some heart to it.
There is.
It's a fine line to balance in a good comedy.
That's right, it is.
Okay, well, that said and done, we're going to get into the movie itself. So you ready to go, Turk?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this. So the movie, I love the opening for this movie. It's an animated opening. It's got Santa Claus delivering presents. And of course, this Santa Claus, he's not quite up to par, is he?
He's clumsy.
Reminds me of the opening sequence from the Pink Panther movies. But that I'm curious to see who the animators were. Like, part of me, I'm like wishing it's the same animators. Just like Clark Griswold is clueless in his movies, this Santa Claus is. Like, his first thing, he steps off the sleigh onto the roof. He slips right in there.
Yeah.
He's not too nimble on his feet.
This kind of sets the tone of the film, I think. Right away, you know it's going to be a goofy film.
And crazy shenanigans will happen. Yeah, especially with... But it's a Chevy Chase movie. And usually there's always something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We're just going to make some note changes here so that paper kind of rustling there. It's just, I'm a professional, right? He almost knocks that snowman. He gets electrocuted. Like, all kinds of stuff going down in this. And gets stuck in the chimney. He breaks the chimney.
Yeah. Well, and then he slides down the light strand there with his, was it a cane or something, or an umbrella, I think? Yeah. Probably an umbrella, I think, and he was, like, ripping off all the light bulbs, and, yeah, it's pretty funny.
And, of course, this Santa makes a lot of noise. He's trying to eat the cookies and put the presents, and the light turns on, and he's radioing in his reindeer to come in. And did you notice, like, the lead reindeer wasn't like our typical Rudolph. He had, like, just a light bulb flickering, which that plays into the movies with the flickering lights on the house.
Yes. Yeah.
Then after that, the movie kind of fades away into them driving in the country.
Yes, in this really, really old Ford Taurus wagon with wood panel siding and just dirty as hell, and cruising down the highway.
But those were the shit in the late 80s, weren't they?
They were the shit, yep. Everybody knew somebody with a Taurus.
And of course, Clark and Ellen are singing the Christmas tunes, and in the back seat you see Rusty and Audrey. They're like, "Oh my god," because they're kids, they're teenagers. Like, they don't want to be there driving to go.
Oh no, no! In today's day and age, the kids wouldn't have to worry about it because they'd have their frickin' cell phones with their Bluetooth headphones in and just be tuning out the parents. But not back then. You had to listen to your parents back then.
Yes. And every movie, Rusty and Audrey are played by different actors.
They are. Yeah.
Well, the first one was played by Anthony Michael Hall, who was in The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink.
Yes, he is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the only constant cast in these movies is Chevy, Beverly, and Cousin Eddie, Randy.
That's right, yeah.
And I like when they're singing, he's like, "Take it, Russ," and Russ just doesn't even reply.
No, Dad.
And as we see in that scene, they're heading to get a massive Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's a tradition for their family to go out and chop down their own Christmas tree.
Is it?
I think it is. Well, I think that they established that it's the Griswold family Christmas tree. So I'm assuming this isn't their first time.
Okay, yeah. Look, I don't know if I
it seemed like it was normal.
But it makes sense. Well, one thing is it symbolizes Clark's massive unrealistic expectation with his family, whether it's vacations or Christmas, right? Yeah. Because a massive Christmas tree, like in this movie, all right, say the list of things that he has unrealistic kind of expectations. Massive Christmas tree. He wants the biggest and brightest lights and decorations ever. All the family together, and it's perfect. The big bonus at work, so he can surprise his family with this fucking huge pool.
Yeah, he's really shooting for the stars here.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. But of course, nothing kind of goes without a hitch there. Some jackasses riding his tail. I love this.
Yes, in this big blue old like hillbilly truck. It's giant, it's ugly, and it's driving like right up the ass of the Taurus. And I'll just say one little tidbit about the truck. That truck actually was used by Kurt Russell in the movie Overboard. That was his work truck.
Nice.
Interesting, hey?
That's a good movie. I remember watching that as a kid. Didn't the front plate say "dog on duty" or something?
Something like that.
All I'm going to say, fucking Dodge truck drivers. You hear me? Fuck you.
Well, one could say the same for Chevy and Ford drivers.
Hey, don't you go there, you son of a bitch. And I just like when they're passing them, these truck drivers are just greasy, shit-eating grins, you know? And of course, they're smiling, and then, of course, Clark, "Hey, kid's a deer," and gives them the bird. And nobody but Chevy Chase can play those types of like gags like that, because other comedians or actors, when they do that, it just is not as funny. Or,
he is perfect. He goes from like clueless to like almost like evil, where he, you know, like a lot of times he smiles but then his eyes open wide like he's gonna go psycho right away. He does that so well.
Oh, perfect. Or like in the first Vacation movie when Christie Brinkley's driving that Ferrari and she passes him and he's like he's winking and he's like, you know, kind of doing the tongue at her. Like, it's just awesome and hilarious, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
And of course, a typical Clark logic, he's like, okay, I'm going to speed up, and like, Alan's like, what are you doing? It's okay, Alan, I got this. I'm going to speed and then safely pass them. But you're like, where's the logic in that? What?
You know, I'll say this reminds me, this is just your typical dad proving that he's got the gonads to just put these hillbillies behind him, and I'm the man, I'm the dad, I'm gonna, you know, I'm not gonna let these guys intimidate us, I'm gonna fucking get around them and take off. I've actually done this in a fit of rage one time, and it's not my finest hour for sure. I do regret doing it, but I've done it in the past, and I'll probably hopefully never do it again.
I mean, I've done this as well. I was going up one of the hills there, and this guy, I was just, I don't know if he was, I thought he was just like driving slow like an asshole, so then I passed him and gave him the finger, but I think he was driving standard, so he was like slipping and he probably wasn't hitting the clutch right. So he ended up catching up with me, and then him and I are like yelling at each other, and we're gonna, he signaled me to pull over, so we were gonna fight. And then we get out there, and like, it's just, and the thing is, I was like a kid back then. I'm like a 16-year-old kid, and this guy's like a 30, 40-year-old, like 6'5" and like 300, 400 pounds. Like, I probably would have got destroyed.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and then we kind of apologized, and it was like, yeah.
Good.
But Clark here, Griswold, he's got some big gonads.
He does.
And of course, he's gonna, you know, pass them, so he has to say a funny line. So he's like, I'm gonna burn some dust here. Eat my rubber. And Russ corrects him. Don't you mean burn rubber and eat my dust? Whatever, Russ.
Yeah. Dads never get it right.
Yeah. And then he's like, eat my road grit, liver lips. That's what he says when he's passing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the lines in this film are just great.
And this is just like vintage John Hughes. Like, he is so witty. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't even...
It's a staple.
It's a staple. Yeah. Like, some mean things, he doesn't hold back, but it's not like overdone where it's over crude.
Yeah, yeah.
His crude humor is perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. So after that, they what happens? He passes them, and then they end up going up behind him again, real close. But then they pass him, and they think that that's all taken care of and whatnot. And next thing you know, that semi comes up behind. Oh yeah,
remember?
And then he drives underneath the
he ends up
axle,
he doesn't even shoulder check. He goes, "Don't worry, kids, I got this." And he just he changes lanes without shoulder checking. And next thing you know, he's underneath the log trailer on the semi. Mm-hmm. And so now he's like driving under the log trailer like Fast and the Furious did when they were trying to rob those semis.
Yeah. That's plagiarism.
Yeah. So that was a pretty sketchy scene too.
Very sketchy, but very entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, he eventually gets out of there and then pulls to the right, but then
there's a snowblower.
There's a snowblower in his way, so he's screwed. He can't go left. He can't go straight. He can only go
into
right.
The ditch.
Yeah, it's the ditch and a huge ramp of snow coming up. So yeah, it's Dukes of Hazzard time.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Right there, and I just like when once they land there, right by where the trees.
The sign.
Like, we made the sign. Oh, we made good time.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus! Almost like they came out of time in the DeLorean.
Yeah.
And then, well, he's got to find the perfect tree.
Yeah, they're knee deep in snow. All the kids are struggling to walk. The two kids are struggling to walk in the snow, and even they're struggling to walk in the snow. And it's pretty cold. You can tell because Audrey. Is Audrey? Not Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey.
Audrey, yeah, she's freezing.
Oh yeah, like her eyebrows and her lips, she's almost has blue lips.
Yeah. So she's not happy.
Yeah, and but he does find the tree.
He does. He finds a tree.
I have a question. Seriously. Seeing the size of this tree he finds, how did he ever think it was possible to get that to fit in his house? Like, what an idiot.
Well, like you said, he's got crazy expectations, and this is just another one of them where he's expecting this 20-foot tree to fit in an 8-foot or we'll give him 10-foot ceiling in his living room. I'm not sure how he's going to do it, but yeah.
I don't know. And the thing is, his whole family's always trying to be a voice of reason. Like, his kids are.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, like, it's not, and he's like, it's not big, it's full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fit in the yard. And like, Russ, that won't even fit in the yard. I like little Russ.
Russ is smart.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart little guy. Yeah. And of course, forgot to bring the saw.
Yeah, he was. Who was it that asked? Where'd you put the axe, or where's the axe? I can't remember who said that. But
yeah, did you bring? Yeah, I think it was like probably Russ or Audrey.
Yeah,
it's just like, and you just see Chevy Chase's face. Uh-oh. And that's like perfect for like Griswold, right? Because like he's one of those guys, like he's half concoct or half baked kind of schemes or these ideas. He gets so excited, and that goes back to his, he gets over enthusiastic. He's not thinking things through. But we can relate to that, because a lot of times we get excited doing stuff in our own life, and you're like, you sometimes don't always think things through. And he definitely does not think about everything.
He doesn't even think about the next step ahead, because like he should have realized he needed a fucking axe to chop that tree down.
Yeah.
But in National Lampoon's fashion, the next scene is them driving down the road with this fucking tree with the root system still attached and laying on the roof. Now, I mean, you're not expected to figure out how the hell he pulled that tree out of the ground.
Well, yeah. Well,
right?
there's a deleted scene apparently that used to air on when it was on TV back in the day. When they first go to like the tree place, there's a worker, a drunkard guy dressed up as Santa Claus.
Okay. And
he's like kind of giving Clark shit, and Clark's going back and forth with it. But then we realize he asks him about bringing an axe too, and he's like, he has a shovel, so he actually shovels it out.
Okay.
And that gag he actually references later in the movie with Cousin Eddie.
Oh, right.
Maybe we'll talk about that if we don't forget. Yeah, but I like how
just next scene, it's already out.
It's already out, and it's way longer than the car.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Root and all. We cut to the scene where he's going to cut it in half, and we get introduced to his snobby neighbors.
Yeah.
Todd and Margot.
Todd and Margot. Well, we learn their names a little bit later, but we know them now, so we might as well say. But they're what I call our dinks. Dual income, no kids. Yes. So, no offense to any kidless.
He's basically talking about you're not talking about me. I'm not dual income.
No, you're not dual income.
I almost got upset there.
You're good. You're single income.
Single income.
So only the dual income, no kids. We call them dinks. Okay, so no offense. It's just being funny.
Talk about Christmas cheer here, eh?
Yeah.
And then they ask, Todd asked him where he's going to put a tree that big, and I love this is a classic line. Bend over and I'll show you. And of course Todd's like, you got a lot of nerve. I wasn't talking to you. And I love his garage. You notice like his garage, he's got like a ping pong table in there. It's just like, it almost looks like a garage from like a horror movie almost, but it's perfect. Well, he was wearing the hockey mask.
Yes. Yeah, he was paying homage to Mike Myers and the Chainsaw Massacre all on the same time.
Yes.
When he had the chainsaw.
And Ellen is Jamie Lee Curtis.
I'll just say one little tidbit about the house. Did you know that that house is used for Scarlet Witch's, what's that show that she was on with?
WandaVision?
WandaVision, thank you. They use that show for WandaVision, believe it or not. Or they use the house for WandaVision.
No way.
Believe it or not, I read that yesterday.
That is awesome.
That is cool.
That makes that show way better.
Of course it does. Yeah. Thought I would share that.
Look at Turk, eh? He's the man with all the trivia.
I did some trivia searching last night.
Believe it or not, we try to do a little bit of research on these movies, because it's not like we watch these movies and know them by heart.
Oh, God, no. No, never do. No.
Well, we're talking about that. I don't know if it's my memory, but it's one of those movies like every time I watch it, I'm like, I didn't know that scene was there. And I've watched it like pretty consistently.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's saying something about me and my memory, or it's just one of those movies that I can just keep watching it, and it's like I discover something new.
Yeah, it slips through you a little bit.
It's probably my memory.
Yeah,
I should probably get like a CT or MRI. And then they're talking in bed. We get a scene, and he's got all kinds of sap on his hand. So you see the little gag. He's reading the magazine. There was he reading People magazine? I think
People magazine.
Yeah, and he's just carrying it.
Yeah.
And this is where, like, Ellen, she kind of, just try to take it easy. You know how you build things in your head or mind. you set standards that are like no family can kind of live up to.
Yeah,
And
he does.
Everything's getting stuck. His hand's stuck in her hair. He's pulling her.
Yeah, he's like,
"Good
"Good night, honey," and he grabs her by the hair, and he's got the lampshade in one hand and her hair in the other.
and of course, Chevy, he says this masterfully, "When have I ever done that?" And of course, she's like, "Parties, weddings, anniversaries," and here's a real key one: funerals, holidays, graduations. Okay, hold on a second. Backtrack up here. Funerals. Who would set their expectations for funerals? Like, what are your expectations? It's a funeral.
Right?
I just thought that was a great gag.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the calendar, and this is perfect. I love that it kind of gives you it's counting down the days to Christmas, and it starts at the 14th. I like movies where it's like set over time. Where like it feels like sometimes those movies where they're like in a day, where there's like it's days. I enjoy that.
This one's a couple of weeks.
Well, we get the weeks with the Griswolds.
That's right.
And we get to see him because they're always on vacation on the other ones. We get to see him at work. Shout out to the Tasmanian Devil.
Yes.
I love that mug.
Yep.
I always wanted one of those. I never got it.
I think I had something similar, but I don't think I had that one. I know there was a set. There was a few of those. And
they're talking about Christmas, and his co-worker there in the scene, he mentioned he might get Food Additive Designer of the Year. Okay, so that's what he does. He's a food additive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's just awesome. Like,
isn't it?
What does that entail? Like, do you go? What kind of school is it? Like, it's got to be a business.
Yeah, it's probably about food presentation during marketing. I think that's my guess.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably food and drug. I think he works in the food and drug department.
Right.
He's talking about like a crunch enhancer, and then they're asking him. He asks him about it's like it's a non-nutritive cereal varnish.
Varnish.
Yeah,
like a glaze.
Semi-permeable, not osmotic. It coats and seals the flake, prevents the milk from penetrating it.
Interesting. So then, so then your cereal doesn't get soggy, right?
Yeah. Though I like when my golden grains get soggy.
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit of sog is good.
So I probably wouldn't like his product. And then they talk about the Christmas bonus.
Yes.
And he's all excited, and he pulls out his pamphlet to his coworker, and then he's obviously he's talking about the importance of this Christmas bonus because he already put down a deposit, like was it $7,500 or something?
Yeah, $7,500.
That's quite a bit of cash.
That's almost a pool, man. In the 80s, that's almost a pool.
Yeah. And then you can imagine he's a moderate average earner back then, maybe above average.
Yeah, I would say above average.
Yeah. And of course, now we get introduced to in that scene, the big boss, Bill Murray's big brother.
Yeah. I like him because he's in so many films, and I think he has a great. His voice is amazing. I love his voice. Yeah. He's
a real good character actor.
He is.
I love the gag in the whole movie. He just always calls him by the wrong name. It's like Mark, and like his name's Clark.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he doesn't even know who the other employee is. That's Bill, sir.
Yeah.
He tells me. Just like this, your typical corporate boss that doesn't give a F, eh?
That's right.
Oh, we've all worked for corporations.
It's across the board.
Yeah. It's across the board.
Yeah.
And then he asks him about the report.
Yes.
And I don't want none of that jargon bullshit. None, I want
layman's terms.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget that report, Bill. He calls him about the other guy that he.
Yes, I know.
Bill, don't forget that, Bill.
But I like when they're walking away, when he finally walks away and he's got his entourage with him, the boss, right? And he's like, "Merry Christmas, kiss my ass, kiss your ass, kiss your ass, fuck you," or whatever.
Yeah, fuck you, Happy Hanukkah. I like that. Like,
it was great.
He's the same to everything. Or even before that, when he tells him, "Sir, we're flattered that you gave us that Christmas card. We appreciate that." And he looks at his lackey and this talk about a cheapie of the cheap. Yeah. This doesn't give wants to save money, and the guy's like, they're company cards.
Yeah.
Just looks at him. Someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
And then that takes us next to one of the best scenes in the movie. They're at the mall.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's over at, what is it?
Is it a lingerie?
Well, I'm confused. I thought it was like a perfume.
Maybe perfume or lingerie-ish, yeah.
It's a feminine kind
Yeah,
of.
we don't really get to see what all the product is about.
No.
But then, yeah, because there's talk of, like, you know, the underwear. So
Yeah, I was just, there's underwear, but I was just smiling. I don't know if there was perfume there. This, maybe next time I watch it, pay a closer attention.
Yeah, well, does it really matter? I mean, you know, does it really matter what she's selling? It's the girl.
Well, this lady is the Christie Brinkley scene.
Yes.
He runs into these anonymous women, and he has these kind of like fantasies about them, with them. That's kind of his thing. He has this fantasy about some anonymous haunt.
I know, and he can never talk to them. He just fumbles over his words.
He does, but chick is hot.
Very, very hot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're men, so just letting you know that we like our women.
She's beautiful.
She's very beautiful.
She's beautiful.
She's like, can I show you something?
Yeah.
She's a hot, sexy, tall. I was just smelling. He's just fumbling, and then of course he, has to let her know that, oh my dear departed wife, or divorced.
Yeah.
Like he's like, she's dead. He's divorced. Oh, and of course that's where Russ comes, and she's kind of showing him the new kind of lingerie garment.
Yeah, like it's the underwear where it doesn't show.
Doesn't look like line, the little tan lines. Or and you can see him kind of just looking all into it. Russ there. No line there, Russ. No tan lines. Nope. And is this his eyes?
Yeah, Russ. what are you doing here?
All right. Well, we had fun at the mall with all those shenanigans with that teller, and now we're back at the house, and this is the scene where the whole family arrives.
Yes, the parents, the in-laws, and the both sets of parents really.
Yes,
show up,
and you kind of see Clark's parents. They seem like really like down to earth, loving kind of husband and wife, and then you kind of get the father-in-law that obviously doesn't approve of Clark, and then you get the drunkard wife.
I really noticed that Clark's parents were more like loving and caring and. It's no wonder that Clark got his confidence in his unrealistic expectations, because every time he did something wrong or bad, his mom was like, "Oh, it's beautiful, Clark." Like she just always propped him up, and even the father too propped him up a little. But then, of course, Ellen's parents were like, like just so dejected from him and like, "Oh, I could do better," kind of thing. Like the father was never accepting of anything that Clark did.
You get the sense that her parents probably weren't happy that she chose Clark as
No, I mean, it's not like Clark was a bad dude and messed up a lot, did he?
Well, he is a disaster. That's for
there's
sure.
a couple movies that prove.
But this is a good scene because, like, who can't relate to this when over the holidays and you're waiting at the house and it's just you and the family, and then you're just anticipating the extended family to come, and then
who invites their extended family for 2 weeks? That's insane.
Well, I guess it goes back to his unrealistic expectations,
right? 2 weeks.
2 weeks
that's insane.
Like one day could be a disaster with all the
That's bold. That's really bold.
But this was the 80s. Back then they did that, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, the 80s.
I like one of the grandparents offers Russ a quarter to rub her foot.
Yeah, he's like, a whole quarter.
A whole quarter, wow. Like in even 89, that wasn't shit.
No, that was nothing. No.
I don't know if there's anything to add for that part, but then Clark and Russ are outside getting the Christmas lights ready to put on there.
Yep.
Okay, I'm assuming it's, December 14th or 20th between there.
Yeah.
He's cutting it real close, don't you think, to put up the Christmas lights?
Yeah.
Like people are putting it up.
Some people have different. Yeah, some people have different traditions, I guess. Like I know there's traditions where people put up the tree the day before Christmas.
Then there's people that leave the Christmas lights year round.
Right. Well, those are the lazy people. And I've done it. So
hey, man, I
can say that because I've done it.
I think that's premeditated, man.
I mean, if you want your lights to fade, sure.
Yeah, but if those new LED, wouldn't they not fade?
Yeah, it doesn't look tacky in the middle of July.
Well, it's stupid, but still.
I'm gonna leave out my blow-up dolls on the front.
But if they're just one color, like a white, it'd be a nice effect in the summertime. And then you got the fire in the back. It'd kind of be cool.
Yeah, again, it's lazy, but whatever.
Oh, big time. Actually, Well, I better be careful with mine. Like, my point is that I got my lights up before this jabron.
You did. You know what? You're better than me, though, because this year I was ultimate lazy. I didn't even put up lights this year. I got one of those stupid laser beam things that shoot at the house. And it shows, like, red and green spots and stuff, and they twinkle. That's the ultimate lazy right there, and I did that this year. Because I was sick and tired of getting on that ladder.
Well, I didn't have to get on the ladder, but my place here, it actually still turned into a... Well, okay, but it's partly my fault that the line I bought was, like, way longer than what I had. Like,
yeah, but how do you know to measure, like, every corner that you're going
Well,
on?
I probably could have measured it, but I didn't. Yeah. And the price was great.
Ah, there you go.
So they got the lights. So yeah, and then of course this scene, Russ is just kind of calling his dad again. He's like, you think you're overdoing it with all these lights?"
Yeah.
And another thing, it's kind of funny in this movie. Out of all of them, like I think just this one, the age difference between Russ and Audrey, because usually Russ is the older sibling in all the other movies. Right. This one, Audrey is. Like, I guess obviously it came down to casting. Julia Lewis was only a year older than Johnny Galecki.
Yeah, but we know that girls grow up way quicker than boys in the beginning there, so that would make... She was so much taller than him.
Yeah.
And he's a shorter guy, too, even in adulthood. He's kind of a short guy, but...
Yeah.
And then she's in the kitchen helping Mom with supper and all that stuff. So
I enjoy Julia Lewis and everything. She has a different... I love her in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yep.
Anyways, sidetrack, back to the
Natural Born Killers. Love her.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's great.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But Robert Downey's really good in that, too. Same with Woody. And, of course, Robert Downey... Not Robert Downey, but Rodney Dangerfield plays a big-time creeper father in that movie.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you really want a Christmas cheer movie, watch Natural Born Killers. It's great for the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to this scene, this little gag, I love because it reminds me of growing up with the lights. You know, those old lights. Yeah. Where, of course, like, what dad never kind of rolled them up properly and they turned into a big ball, and then come the next season you got to unravel them, and those are like those ones that are easy to break.
Yeah, the glass ones.
The glass ones, man. And then the paint is already chipped, so you got to replace them. Yep. Big ball. Here you go, Russ. Dad. And then we go to the folks napping, and this is just typical of like Christmas. People eating and sleeping and lounging.
Yes. The old people always snoring and sleeping in the couches. Yeah.
TV's running. And, but this is in the 80s, so lots of smoking indoors.
Yeah, lots of smoking.
I think it was Audrey's mom who's smoking and drinking wine. Well, she's pretty much like drunk the whole movie, that character.
Yeah, she's great.
And then while she's smoking, she's helping Clark's mom. They're finishing icing a gingerbread house. Like this is all like right before Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah. And then because the men are snoring, they grab the remote to turn it up. And like, I mean, I've witnessed this in our day.
Yeah, every family I'm sure has that.
And then when he's putting these lights on the house, what would possess a person to use a stapler like that? To staple their...
Yeah, that's a really small stapler.
It's a small stapler.
They do make bigger ones for... Like, I have a couple of them that are much bigger. They're easier to... Yeah.
But why would you staple those on your house?
Lack of hooks, I guess. If he's got no hooking system, you got to staple it on the wood. That's just what you did.
That was just stupid.
Then you just pull it out after. But he's putting way too many staples. Like, he's putting one every light. Like, every little bulb, which is like, 4 inches apart, he's putting one staple. Like, you could literally go like 3 feet and put another staple.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he's overdoing it because then when he's on the ladder there... Because to me, that's a logistic nightmare. Like, even, it'd be easy to pull, but, like, that's every bulb.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of... And, like, you see how many light bulbs he puts on that frickin' house. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a little overboard.
Oh, a little? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's on the ladder and he's stapling, and typical him, he's stapling everything.
He's stapling his sleeves. Glove.
And then he falls back and he pulls away. Sleeve pops out because it's stapled. Oh. And then at that time, Audrey and Ellen are complaining because she's mad that she has to give up her room to her grandparents, and then she has to sleep with her little brother, and that little fungus. I think she refers to him as a little fungus.
Yeah.
And then Ellen, she's already stressed. She's like cutting up the lettuce and carrots, and then she lights up a cigarette, and then her mom, Ellen, are you smoking? No, Mom.
And she puts it out.
And the thing is, her mom was just smoking.
Yeah.
Where's the logic in that?
No logic.
I guess it's do as I say, but I was like,
that's right.
Do.
Yeah.
And then that's when I said that Clark kind of falls off, and he's kind of hanging from the east troughs.
Yeah, it's kind of busted a little.
Yeah, busted. Yeah. He pulls. Well, that's he's a big man.
Yep.
And then it busts, and then that shard of ice goes flying into the neighbor's window.
Smashes their stereo.
Oh, stereo, clean.
Yeah.
Just blows up. CD player, you see those CDs? You imagine coming home to that?
Yeah.
And then him and Russ are kind of talking about it, and he said he used about 250 strands of light, 100 individual bulbs per strand.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, a grand total of 25,000 imported Italian twinkle lights. Italian twinkle lights.
Come on.
I love that gay. Italian twinkle lights. Was that? I don't remember. I got to ask my dad. Was that actually a thing back in the day, or is it just a gag in the movie?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the gag. That's funny. Though.
Yeah, and of course, the father-in-law's talking smack to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Just a schmuck. Yeah, and then his mother-in-law, she's just a drunk. I got a kick. She's got a martini.
She's like hiccuping. She's like,
yeah.
She's always hiccuping.
Yeah. They're like, talk about pissing money away. Like, you imagine?
Poor Clark.
Yeah. And then, then we get a montage of everyone asleep except Clark. You see Ross.
Yeah.
The bunk beds, the granddad staring up at the wall, and you see the poster. There's a babe there, so Russ is he's at that age.
Yep.
Did you ever do that? Put in the ceiling the picture? I never did, but I thought about it.
I don't know if I did have it on the ceiling. I know I had it on my walls, but I don't remember doing it on the ceiling. That was pretty cliche for young teenage boys, I think.
Yeah. And in the 80s, because there was always poster from like magazines like Rockstar, like Bon Jovi, and then the boys would have like Melissa Milano, and the girls would have Rob Lowe. You'd see it all over the place. Now we have like Instagram and Twitter to
who needs posters on the wall anymore?
Posters I don't know. I know. It's kind of creepy, but there's a charm to it.
Yeah.
Like I remember like high school, I had like pictures.
You can still get posters today, but I just don't know if it's as prominent as it used to be with us.
Yeah, something about it. Yeah, I think the next part in the movie that we see him in the attic. He wakes up. He's going to hide press.
Yeah, is the family that like devious and untrustworthy that you have to go up into the attic to hide presents?
Yeah, but this is him overdoing it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And like this attic is almost as like filled with stuff like the attic in the Goonies movie.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of treasure. I think there's like a bunch of drums. He might have been a drummer back in the day. All kinds of stuff. He finds an old Happy Mother's Day present.
He does.
He hides them so good that he forgets about them. And
apparently that Mother's Day present is from 1983, which was when the first Vacation was released.
Came out. Yes, I was about to say that. Yeah. And actually, him hiding presents and forgetting about that. My mom was actually notorious for doing stuff like this. She'd get presents and then she'd kind of put them away and she'd forget about them. She like found it and she's like, "Oh, I guess it's for you."
I know we were bad with Easter chocolates. Don't forget about those.
Yeah, because like as a kid, you if parents would leave, you would definitely you'd do the Christmas present hunt.
Did you ever open one?
I never opened. I would do the
clean. I would come clean.
I would do. Hey man. we're not under a court of law here, so I plead the fifth. No, I never did that, but I've kind of like, you know, the edges of the wrapping paper. I've like wore it out a little bit, where it's like, so you know.
I did. Open
you did obviously.
One gift, one in my life.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, it was a watch.
A watch.
Of all gifts to open, it was an effing watch.
Probably like a Canuck watch.
Just a boring watch.
Yeah.
I was like 13. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least, you know, did you ever get trapped up in your attic?
No, never had an attic like that anymore.
So that ladder setup, like, really, no fail safes in his house.
Well, no, just like the Goonies household. Same idea. The ladder's coming down, you climb up the attic. Same idea.
That must have been the common thing with houses back then.
Probably, yeah. And you can tell it was spring loaded. Hey, the way Ellen's mom kind of easily pushed it up there. You could hear like the springs like retracting the ladder, so it must be like on a spring system. And
easily you could pull it down.
Yeah.
So he gets trapped up there in typical fashion, and of course it was his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
You figure she like, well, it's down for a reason,
right? Yeah, but
like, hello, but they don't give a shit. Eh?
No, this is a movie, so they don't think of like that.
And then of course everybody they're going to eat.
Well, they're also doing last minute Christmas shopping.
They're going to the mall.
Yeah,
I think there was like a deleted scene there, but it was never.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you actually see them at the mall. So he's trapped in there and it's getting cold, and doesn't he like crash through the roof or something? Because he's actually. To back up, he's kind of walking there, looking for stuff, or probably something to keep warm, and he keeps like concussing himself with the boards as he's stepping on them.
He's got loose boards on either side.
Boards everywhere. Yeah.
I don't know why those are
an idiot.
there. Yeah, because he's walking on the beams of the attic, right?
Yeah, he's walking on the beams, but then he's got loose. Maybe they're like compromised, like they're areas he knows he can't walk on,
right?
But they're loose.
I know.
But I mean, it's a great gag. But
it
is.
An
idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so he kind of puts on
I don't know, it's like this pink head warmer,
like a Baba would wear.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
And then like this house coat, a woman's house coat.
Yeah, house coat, and he's got some gloves.
And he finds the old projector, and he's watching some home videos.
Yeah, and it's a great scene because we get introduced to Aunt Bethany and Uncle Lewis in there in flashback.
Yeah.
And he plays music, and because this is one thing about Clark Griswold. He's very nostalgic.
Yeah, he is.
Kind of like this podcast.
That's what we're all about.
Yeah. So he's watching it, and everyone comes home, and Alan, he's sitting on.
Yeah, he's sitting on the trapdoor.
Trapdoor.
Dude, come on.
Like that's a no-no.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
So she pulls it down, and he goes crashing down.
Yeah. You can imagine like his medical bill.
Yeah. Oh, he hasn't died yet. That's funny.
But then we're back to the lights. He's still trying to figure it out. Yeah. And he says he painstakingly checked every bulb, and they're not lighting up. Something's not going on. And I think his mom goes into the cellar or the cubby and turns on the lights, and they all appear, and he's like ecstatic.
Yeah, and the whole family is inside.
Yes, of course, conveniently.
Conveniently they're inside. They don't see it. Yeah.
Then he calls them, and of course now they have to put their coats on, and they're just like, oh,
yeah.
What now, Clark? And you figure they would notice, like, the illuminating light
from the inside.
But, well, of course
they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And then just as they get out there, Mom leaves the room and the lights are off.
Well, she switches that switch back off. So then the lights are off.
Yeah.
And he's like got the extension cord, and he's fiddling with it, and he's like, what's going on? What's going on? And they're like, what's going on, Clark? And he's like, well, they were on a second ago, and and his father again trying to prop him up, and he goes, son, if one goes out, they all don't work, and it's just one of those things. Or was it Ellen's dad that said that?
No, it was his dad.
I
think I almost took it also as dad's like, you gotta go recheck them, so just to kind of like, go deal with that. I don't want to deal with this because it basically would probably take more time.
Yes.
So then that way he won't be bothered by his son.
Right.
He's probably done that a few times to them knowing Clark.
Yeah, so it's a big disappointment because he had this whole scene set up where he was telling his wife, drum roll please, and then and then all of a sudden just nothing happens. Yeah. So it's a bummer of a scene.
That was pretty awesome. He was like, joy to the world, and it's a wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. So it doesn't work, and of course they're like, they're going inside, and they're
and he loses his shit.
Yeah.
And he starts like kicking stuff. Rudolph gets it in the nose. And
so he's kicking the display. He's kicking the Rudolph and Santa display. And then you notice that instead, actually, he starts hitting it with his hand first. He starts punching things with his hand. Then he kicks after. And the reason that is because he actually broke his thumb while punching or his finger. He broke his finger while punching the display. And then that's when you see him using his feet to kick the display instead because he had hurt his hand, but he just kept going with the scene. So he ended up using his foot after.
Yes.
So that's another little tidbit there. He actually broke his finger doing that.
Did he really?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you call method acting, folks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Didn't know Chevy was that type of actor, but hey, that's awesome.
Yep.
Then, of course, so he's losing his shit and scaring everybody. And then Ellen goes into
the cellar or the laundry room.
Cellar, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Turns it on, goes in there. The lights come on, and then he's like, "Hey!" But then they go off, and then she's kind of doing stuff. Did we talk about the scene where he set the Christmas tree up, or is that to come? Did he? Because the Christmas tree, when he has it all tied up, and then he takes off the rope, it goes through the window. It breaks the window.
I can't remember when the tree was set up.
Well, anyways, back to the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Audrey's Ellen. Ellen's kind of like, because she was checking the cords. Like, she was checking the plugins. You see all the plugins he has?
That's a fire hazard.
A fire hazard, even outside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, she does a little thinking. You can see she thinks in her head, and she goes, oh, wait a minute, it's the switch. So she keeps the switch back on, and then finally the lights come on.
They come on. And as he's putting in, you just see the spark.
Yeah.
Electricity goes on. Hallelujah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And, of course, his neighbors, poor Margot and Todd, they're going to have a nice night after a brisk run.
Yeah.
A shower.
Yeah.
Because, Margot doesn't like sweat.
No.
And they're ready to consummate their run. And the lights, and they butt heads.
It's the most stupid, stupid
gag.
Because, they're blinded by this light that Clark has, basically illuminated the whole neighborhood. And the city powers the power goes out in the rest of the city.
He pulls the breaker for the power plant.
Yeah, they actually flip on the nuclear power, which is cool. But Margot and what was Scott? Was it Scott? Yeah, Scott and Margot.
Todd.
Sorry, yeah, whatever. Same.
Doesn't matter. Todd, Scott,
and Todd.
Those are douche names.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
For all you Todds and Scotts,
out there.
We love you.
Yeah.
But no, they get blinded, and he's carrying this tray of food and a flour or
sushi, some
whatever.
Type of shit
and then all of a sudden he just throws it in the air like he's it's like he stepped on a banana peel. But come on, it's ridiculous, but it's funny.
He's a real puss, this Todd.
Oh yeah,
as we find out,
it's not a man at all.
And they butt heads, and he falls. He fell down the stairs.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because they got wine, with this entree of hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
but you got to feel sorry for them. You imagine living beside someone like Clark. The guy's a disaster.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to live beside Clark either. But I also wouldn't want to live beside Margot and Todd.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't even talk to them. They're just...
No.
Yeah.
But I like the end of that scene with them where Margot is way more worried about the rug. So the rug, he's still concussed.
He's shaking his head. He's like, where am I?
He doesn't care. Because you almost get the sense that they really don't care about each other. It's a superficial relationship.
It is a superficial relationship. Yeah, it is, totally.
And, the lights are on, so he has that big...
His family comes outside.
Family comes out. And, so it's a big moment, and, they're kind of taken back. Everyone's excited, even the mother-in-law. But the father-in-law, Art, he's like,
yeah, what does he say?
He gives him shit. He's like, the little lights are not twinkling.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, I know, Art. Thanks for pointing that out.
Like, what an asshole,
Like,
right?
you can't. It doesn't matter.
Nope, couldn't do anything right. They're not twinkling, Clark.
Yeah, and then he's going to each family member, and he's in joy.
Yeah.
And I like when he goes to hug Ellen's parents and like kisses the mom there, and he's like kissing the top of her like head, and he's got like his dye, and then he goes to Art, and he's like, Art, Dad, and you just can see the cringe.
Yeah,
because probably the feeling is mutual.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
And then this is where we meet Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie
shows up. Eddie, he's just shocked that he's there. Like, you imagine, like the one family member, like you hope you never see.
Yeah, no,
again.
this is Ellen's cousin, I believe.
Is it Ellen?
I think it is. Yeah, I really do, because when they're introducing the kids, when they come out of the trailer, it's Ellen's parents that are saying, "Hey, do you got a kiss for me?" Or, "Hey, like they were the ones really lovey to the kids, but Clark's parents were not." They didn't even really acknowledge the kids. So it was like they were the grandparents or great
yeah, that's
aunts
right.
and uncles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ellen's parents don't really interact with the kids like Audrey and Russ. Come to think of it, yeah,
right. But they interact with these little kids.
They come from Griswold Clark's loins.
That's right. Yeah. So it's kind of a weird dynamic.
And that's believable.
Yeah.
So then we meet him and the kids, and was it Alan's mom is, oh my God, her eyes are no longer crooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he said that at first time she fell in a well and that made her eyes crooked.
Yeah, and they got kicked by a donkey.
By a donkey. I don't know. and then we get introduced to like the star of the show, Snot.
The Rottweiler.
Yeah. He's got a sinus condition, poor guy.
Yeah.
And I like how that actually Snot really likes Clark, because he would sit there and stare at him.
Yep, he did.
And he, of course, typical hillbilly, brags about his dog's the size of his balls.
Yeah, and then you see Ellen. She like kind of leans over a bit and looks down, like she's checking out. Yeah, she did.
Well, that actually makes sense, because at the end of the movie, that kind of relates to another thing she kind of does, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, we'll get there.
And then I like wide shot of the house, the lights, and his RV.
Yes.
And it's like got stains of rust.
It's had better days, that RV. Yeah.
Well, that's their house, so I guess it would see a lot of time, eh? And of course, Cousin Eddie, and what's her name in the movie? I can't remember the wife's. She must be either the...
Shit, I forget.
Is she the sister or a cousin to Ellen? She must be a cousin. They must be a cousin.
Yeah, I'm assuming Eddie is a cousin of Ellen, so by marriage she would be a cousin, but I forget her name. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then they're saying like, why don't we have room for you? Why don't you come stay in the house? And he's like, oh, I don't want to impose, but you can tell he totally does, but he's like, okay, honey, grab the rubber sheets and the gerbil. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, holy shit, this just went off the rails for Christmas.
Yeah, the gerbil, the rubber sheets.
That one threw me for a loop. That was funny.
He is awesome in this movie.
And actually he put out, I think a tweet, sorry, not a Twitter. He put out a tweet saying that if you could go fund me like a few $1 million, he would actually come to your house, stand on your lawn, and reenact the fucking sewer scene. Like, is he that desperate for money? No, it's probably just a gag. My guess. I don't know. Maybe he's broke. I don't know. I have no idea. He doesn't even look the same. He looks like, well, you saw him too, didn't you? That he looks like a bushman. Kind of like a guy who's got like huge beard, massive hair. Like he
looks like the Unabomber.
Yeah, he's unrecognizable. But I don't know how he's doing financially. Whatever. I don't care. But yeah, he actually put out a tweet saying
he lives I think he lives in Canada, because like
is he?
Or he extradited himself or something, really? Or something that he's like he can't go back to the States.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah, but he's batshit crazy.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I think we go inside, and Eddie and Clark are talking about the tree. I love his his attire.
turtleneck, like a Christmas sweater, tight pants, nice shoes,
shoes, and his hair's all slicked back. Like he's
looking really good there.
He's looking slick.
Yeah. Now, did you notice the glasses they were drinking out of?
Those are Moose. Or is that
Wally World glasses? Wally World glasses.
I thought that was Bullwinkle.
So did I at first, but then until I read some interesting facts about the film, they are from Wally World.
Okay. And then we also see Snot. He's loving the water bowl that's keeping the tree hydrated.
yeah.
And of course, Clark's like, whoa, don't do that. It's going to dry up. It's okay. A little bit of tree water.
Yeah, he can handle it.
He can handle it, and then tells him to go fix himself something to eat. What the hell? And then he's talking about how excited he's there. He's like, yeah, it's real. I'm here. And Clark's like, yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, and then he says what does Eddie say? It's something about it's going to be shitty when we leave here next month or something.
Yeah,
he spits out his eggnog.
Yeah. and then when he was telling him about the dog that's okay drinking the tree water, he's like, he drank like half a quart of Benzoyl.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah.
But like from 2 months from now, a month from now, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the calendar, December 18th. A reminder and Clark's at work. They hit it home that his boss really doesn't give a shit because he goes into his office.
Right. Now, right away,
you give him a gift. Great.
Well, seeing the table that the boss is at reminds me of that scene from Shrek where the ruler, like he was really short guy.
Lord Farquaad.
Lord Farquaad or whatever, really short little guy, but his castle was like super, super tall.
Voiced by John Lithgow, masterfully.
Yeah, as Shrek says to Donkey, do you think he's compensating for something?
Oh.
Right? So I get that kind of envision in my head when I see this like long fucking 30-foot desk that he's sitting at the end of. It's crazy.
I just love, again, that his boss just doesn't know his name. He walks in there to set the gift to him, and it's like a carbon copy of all the gifts that everybody gives him. What do you want, greaseball?
Yeah. Do you know what those gifts were? They were a pen and it was a pen set with a notepad thing to write on. It was something that was really popular that year. Actually, it was all in one gift, and you can tell they're all the same. Yeah, like a pen holder and like a notepad thing. That's what it was.
I'd probably lose interest too.
Yeah.
But greaseball, grizzball, like he just doesn't know his name. I love those little things.
Yeah.
And then we get kind of a little tender moment where the daughter wakes up in the middle of the night and finds Clark staring out the window. But before that, he's staring out the window and he's having kind of a fantasy about the pool. Where
yes, he is. It's summertime. He's looking out the wall. He's looking out the window and it's summertime and the pool is bright blue and everyone's having a good time.
Of course, Cousin Eddie does make it into the date.
Yeah.
But then, of course, that lingerie Till girl makes her way in there. And
she does.
She's a good scene. Until...
Yeah.
Until his little niece kind of wakes up.
I like this scene because it's funny because he's dreaming of the lingerie girl standing on the diving board, and she's slowly like peeling off her bathing suit, and and you can kind of see the side of her boob a little bit there, and then she's pulling it down further, and you could tell he's getting really aroused standing at the window, and then of course you see the bathing suit at her feet, and she flings it. Yeah. And then at this moment, someone throws a red garment at the window as he's walking. So like it just makes it real.
Yeah,
and he backs up from the window. And he's like, "Whoa!
This is getting real."
That scene was just so gold for me. That was awesome.
This might sound odd, but I think the scene was actually kind of handled kind of classy because it doesn't show you nudity.
No, it doesn't.
But it kind of leaves the eyes desire.
Oh yeah, and that's the best part, right?
I like that
because you got to use your imagination for everything.
Yeah, it's a fantasy, but the thing is, outside of the beautiful woman, it's his fantasy that underneath everything, it shows to you a big heart that Clark has, that he wants his family to enjoy this pool. Because he wants them all that have a loving Christmas and a loving family together.
Yeah, and he wants to surprise them with this pool that he's hopefully going to get use the bonus for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then the little niece, has a nice little heart-to-heart moment with him, and kind of said, Santa Claus must not like us, and hasn't came to us in a while.
Yep.
Why is that? And, you learn that Eddie, surprise, surprise, he doesn't have money.
Nope, he does not.
So big-hearted Clark is he's gonna, we're gonna make it special for you and let you know I know Santa myself.
Yeah.
And he's coming. Of course you would know Santa, right?
Yes.
So it's a real tender moment.
It is. Yep.
I'm sure if you were a father.
Yeah. He assures her that Santa's coming to the house. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the morning you see the craziness in the house with everybody and at breakfast. I mean, we've all seen that. It's kind of brought back some good memories. Then we get to the big scene where he's looking out the window and Eddie's draining his septic tank into a storm drain, right?
Yes.
Is there something before that?
We might have skipped over something that, the metal saucer scene. I think we kind of passed that already. When they go tobogganing and he sprays down the toboggan with that special spray that he got from work.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's a quick little scene, but yeah.
What did he use? He used one of his products.
One of his products from work, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cousin Eddie's like, no, I'm not going to do that, Clark, because, I've got this metal plate in my head, and if, something happens, then my hair just won't grow right on this side. Yeah. He's like, what the hell? So he's not willing to do it, but Clark is all in, sprays this thing up, and when he takes off, it's like he got shot out of a cannon.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
He's zigzagging through the forest and trees and ends up in a Walmart parking lot. Goes across the road. You see the sparks kind of fly as he goes across the road there, and it's a great scene. It was fun.
Yeah, totally forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah, that was with Cousin Eddie as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's a really good scene. It's a fun scene. Like, who doesn't want to go tobogganing during the Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll get back to Cousin Eddie with the shitter.
He's a shitter. He's draining in. Of course, Margo and Todd. Shitter was full.
Yeah.
And that's a storm drain. He's draining into.
Yeah. You can't do that. It's for water, not for
water. No, it's for sewage.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's Eddie. He don't give a shit.
Eddie. He's got a mobile home.
Yep.
At that moment, Clark and Ellen are kind of talking about Eddie and their kind of disposition and no money, and it's funny that he's been out of work for 7 years, and Audrey says that she was told that he's holding out for management positions.
Yes, and this is a callback to if you watched Summer Vacation, Eddie has just been fired or laid off from an asbestos plant. So this lines up with 7 years of not being working to this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. The timeline is kind of correct with Eddie's disposition there, so yeah.
So he's been holding for a while.
Yeah.
Well, he lost a few things there.
Yeah.
And then we get to the scene where they're at I love the grocery store where they're shopping.
Yeah.
And he's asking him about how his business is going. And what did he say his business was? It was like live bait or something.
Yeah, something about live bait.
Yeah, and then he sold his house, had to sell his house. He told him about his hard times. Had to sell his house.
Yeah.
Sold 10 acres, but kept 50 feet of plot and pigs and the worm farm.
Worm.
Yeah. So I guess that's a win.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so you can tell he's in tough times, and they're kind of having a man-to-man talk about like, listen, I can kind of help you out. But it's funny because he's saying we'll help you out and stuff, but he's loading up 6 bags of dog food, these huge bags of dog food for one dog.
Did you notice he had the bags of dog food, and then Clark grabbed an item, and then right away, Cousin Eddie just plunked 3 more bags on top of that little item. Crunch.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely a taker, that guy. He'll take
definitely.
anything.
He's all excited because he tells them they're going to have a great Christmas, so he's all excited after
that. Yeah.
And I think that kind of takes us to December 24th. Does it not? Is it something else?
It does. You're right. It does.
24th?
Yep. So it does.
This is the big day.
This is the big day.
Supper is going to happen, and then we officially get introduced to Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany.
And this I love this scene because Uncle Lewis comes in and Clark is helping them with their jackets, and he takes off Uncle Lewis's jacket, and then he
takes his top hat off.
Takes his top hat off, but it's stuck to his hair. Toupee.
Yeah. And Uncle Lewis, like, he's relentless in keeping that toupee on, even like when he's on fire and he's burnt or whatever. That toupee goes nowhere.
Now, you mean like you've noticed that Uncle Lewis always has a stogie in his mouth, right?
He does.
What other famous old actor can you remember back in the day that
George Burns?
There you go. That is the man that they were hoping to play Uncle Lewis.
Well, that makes sense,
wouldn't it? And it does make sense now you think about it. It's like this guy emulated George Burns while he was there.
Yeah,
it was great.
But would George Burns would he have done that? Because
I don't know. I just
to play like basically a senile.
I know. I just read that they were hoping he. So maybe they asked him and he said no.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But either way, I think they still did a good job. You know, they found the right guy. He looks great.
He was perfect.
Yeah,
and it might have worked better that he was a younger actor.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
Like Ian McDermott as Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. Do it. Execute it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was great. And then Aunt Bethany comes in and hands, I believe, Clark and Ellen a couple of gifts. And inside inside the one that Clark's holding, it's moving. And it's like, meowing. And he's like, what the? Yeah. And she wrapped up her cat, so.
She wrapped up her cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really old, and then...
And the other one was some sort of food that was in the other one, because it was leaking. The one that Ellen was holding, it was leaking
her
something.
Jello thing.
Jello.
It had, like, cat
kibble in it.
Kibble in it, yeah.
So this is funny. This just shows you, like, how loopy the grand... is it ants? Their ants? Yeah, their ants is. She's just like way out to space. So probably dementia set in a long time ago.
Well, yeah, they're talking about like breaking wind or something. She said, did I break wind?
Yeah,
and Uncle Lewis just lets her know that she's like senile and doesn't know anything.
Yeah, actually, it's a great when they enter the movie. I think it really ramps things up because it really gets super the movie gets exciting more because all hell breaks loose when they show up.
Well, the movie ramps up bit by bit. Like it kind of escalates, and then it hits to a breaking point.
Yeah.
So then that kind of takes us to the supper. He's about to cut the turkey, and he asks Aunt Bethany to say grace, and she
pledge to allegiance or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
And Eddie kind of stands up for this.
Yeah. What does he do? Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then he's going to cut the turkey, and then the turkey basically just pops.
Yeah, there's nothing left in it. It's drier than hell. It was
Sierra Desert, drier than the Sierra Desert.
What's her name cooked it? It was Eddie's wife.
I can't remember her name.
I know, neither can I.
I don't know why. I should have.
And she starts crying, and she's like, "Oh, I told you we put it in too early." So it cooked for quite a while.
Yeah. And then we get a great scene of them eating this dry turkey. Like it's a.
Yeah, it sounds like they're crunching the bones.
Yeah,
it's pretty nasty.
And you're just going around the table, them eating, and like it's such like plain Jane food.
Yeah,
like the plates and stuff. Like man, my family background, we kind of went all out back in the day.
Oh yeah, everyone's got their own traditions.
Yeah. So this is definitely a tradition, Christmas traditional meal. I probably would not enjoy.
Yeah, no.
And I like when they're passing the plates. And Cousin Eddie, he's like sampling.
Yeah, right off the serving spoon.
and then I'm surprised Clark and them actually were eating that Jello by Aunt Bethany, and he's eating it, and then he's pulling hair out of his mouth. Aunt Bethany, does your cat eat Jello? And of course, Cousin Eddie is just like, I'm gonna get myself some more of that.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That was good. That kind of takes us to them.
Well, this shows Aunt Bethany's cat is getting into some.
Oh, the cat.
Yeah, starting to get mischievous. Starts biting at the Christmas lights on the tree.
Lights, yeah.
Is pulling them a little bit. Ends up pulling them underneath the chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then pulled the lights out of the socket. Right, and then Clark realizes that the lights on the tree are out. So then he goes behind the tree to plug them back in.
Isn't Uncle Lewis with him, too?
Yeah, Uncle Lewis is having a stogie in the living room. Right by the tree.
Yeah. And then he plugs in and fries the kitty.
Yeah, fries the cat. You hear this, meow! The cat pretty much fries itself.
Yeah.
And then the tree starts on fire, right?
Yeah, like he singes it.
Yeah. And then
And he's talking smack to him too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's like telling him it's a shitty tree, and he's like, "What'd you, Uncle Luce, you piece of shit?
Yeah.
What'd you do to my tree? It's an improvement."
Yeah,
And he's on fire.
Yeah, he turns around. He doesn't even know he's on fire.
Yeah.
So he tackles him to the ground, pats him down, gets the fire out. They move the chair, and you see this outline, this burnt outline in the rug of this
Of the cat.
Of the cat. Nothing left. Just
Poor kitty.
oh my god. That's so funny.
Oh, that's a good moment. And then he kind of does he kind of lose it a little bit?
Yeah, he's not happy here.
He's not happy.
I wouldn't
Well, the
be
tree,
happy
right?
either. The tree and the cat.
Yeah. So then he goes out and cuts down a tree,
He does. Yep.
and that's the neighbor's tree,
Yes.
and it breaks right through the
Yeah. As Margot was like, maybe we should have got a tree this year.
Well, at this, yeah.
Where are we gonna get one at this hour? Boom! Right through the window. Yeah.
Like, not only does he break his windows, he's breaking the neighbors. Oh,
Yeah.
Like he broke 2 of theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
I know. So yeah, he gets that thing in there.
Yeah, and he kind of pulls it in and puts it in there, and he has the Santa's hat on there, so
Yeah.
he's kind of
He's going crazy.
He's going crazy, and she's like, Ellen's like, Clark, are you okay? Fine, honey.
Yeah, and his eyes him with the expression of his eyes, just you can tell he's gone loopy, really crazy.
And then his dad kind of comes in and is like, you're kind of losing your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
this is when I believe then the mail carrier comes late.
Yeah.
And brings what Clark is hoping to be a Christmas bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already like, oh yeah, right on. Like, I'm so excited. Thank you. And he's hugging and kissing people already. Like, he hasn't even opened the letter yet.
Telling them, I've been a little bit stressed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
But now this kind of makes up for it. He just can't.
Yeah,
Of course.
Hasn't even opened it yet,
No.
and he's already, assuming that everything's fine, and then he tells Ellen, with this bonus, I'm gonna put in a pool, and everyone's cheering.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Loving it,
Yeah.
and everyone's so happy for Clark. So they're like, well, don't wait, just open it. So he opens it, and man, he's looking at that thing hard, and he's like,
you just see in the meltdown.
Yeah, it's nasty, yeah. And it takes him a few seconds to really decipher, what
am I seeing here?
What am I looking at?
Yeah. Oh man, you can imagine.
And it was a 1-year membership to the Jelly Club.
Yeah. What is the Jelly
It was a
Club?
coupon.
Like a coupon, is it like a fitness center?
I don't know.
Like a jelly club.
I don't know.
Like jelly?
Who knows?
Wow. Yeah.
Donut shop? I don't know. But
1 month.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so he's pretty pissed at this point.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, he kind of loses it. But I like even before that, before he opens it, Eddie's like, I hope it's a fortune in it. Hey, Clark? And he's like, yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah.
Because he kind of built him up. And then he loses his shit.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on that big monologue, right? Where he...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Every word under the sun.
Yeah.
He is not happy.
Then he needs an aspirin or an Advil.
Yeah. And then he says, if there's one thing I want, right? Like one present that I want my boss right here in my living room wrapped in a bow.
Yeah.
So I can tell him, what I think. And then so they kind of, a few seconds go by, and next thing you know, his cousin Eddie takes off.
And takes off. Then, Eddie takes off, but then they're kind of by the tree, and they hear a noise.
Yes, that's right. And of all people who can't hear shit, because Aunt
Bethany.
Aunt Bethany couldn't hear anything at the dinner table.
Freaking squirrel.
Do you hear that? Like what? And they're like, I don't hear nothing. No, I hear it.
I hear something.
Yeah. So it's funny that, of course, she hears this little squeak.
Of all people, I thought that was a neat little
that
bit.
was funny.
And then he's looking at the tree, and then out pops this squirrel.
Yeah.
And this squirrel wreaks havoc on the family. Like, why is everyone so scared of this squirrel?
Yeah, everyone goes nuts. They all run upstairs, and they're running around the house or whatever.
I get you don't want a squirrel inside your house. Yeah. But they're freaking out. And I just like how his mom kind of falls down and is kind of left behind.
She fainted.
She faints, so she's in shock. Well, doesn't the other mom faint too? I thought Clark's mom fell.
Fainted.
Well, the other mom faints too.
Anyways, but as she's laying on the ground, and Clark's like, don't move!
Don't move. Yeah, she's down.
Mom, don't move! And she's already out.
Yeah, and so they go back in there, and he's like trying to grab a Santa bag so he can he's telling him, well, I'll just pop it on the head, and then they're like, well, don't do that to the poor squirrel. Well, I gotta get rid of the squirrel somehow.
Yeah.
And so they go back in there, but then the squirrel attacks, and they all dash for him. I like how he has his mom up, but he just pushes her to the side, and he just leaves her.
The squirrel's on his back, and he's running upstairs,
and his mom piles over his mom.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good.
Yeah, so the dog is chasing the squirrel. Where's the cat when you need it?
And the house is, the cat's dead.
Exactly, but you need the cat now, because that cat would have done
And the
something.
dog is destroying the house, going for it. And then, of course, at that time, Margot's like, okay, you got to finally, man up here and, and go right there and, knock his teeth out. And he's like, well, I can't do that. So she's, goes over there, and she's going to, give him a piece of her mind. And then he goes to the door, opens it, and she's at the door, and the squirrel and the dog go and fly right out at her.
Yeah, that was perfect.
And I like how that part kind of ends for Todd and Margot, because he's sitting there just waiting. Come on, man, that's your wife.
Yeah.
You should at least go support her. And she's all her everything's torn on, her clothes are torn, and she's bloody, and she just cold cocks him, eh?
Yep.
And he falls over and is onto the couch, and the couch tips over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great relationship they have.
That's really good. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, Cousin Eddie, he goes and abducts the boss. But at that time, I think he has another heart-to-heart with Elaine and his dad. And his dad kind of tells him, yeah, you know what got me through all this? Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. And that kind of alleviates kind of his angst and his anxiety. And then he kind of but he does the Christmas Carol. No, it's not the Christmas Carol, but his dad always did.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
I forget that story. But anyways, it was a story that they had read in the family every year.
Yeah. As you can see, we're really good professionals here. We know everything.
Fuck, who cares?
Yeah. But yeah, so he's reading it, and and everything's going okay, and he's kind of going deep into the story, and he's like, then Cousin Eddie is back, and he has a man tied up to a rope with him.
Yeah.
And abduct his boss.
Yep.
I mean, kudos to Cousin Eddie actually finding that place. There's no GPSs
no,
those days. So
how did he know where his boss lived? Who knows?
Hey, man, he's a good tracker.
Yep. I think he found his calling.
Yeah. So his boss is there, and
with a bow on. Yes.
And he's disheveled, but still pissy, and he's like, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry that my cousin, you're fired."
Yeah.
My Eddie's heart is bigger than his brain. Well, thank you, Clark. It's not a compliment.
Yeah. And then Eddie's like, "Well, it's not Clark's fault," and he goes, "Well, you're still fired."
Yeah. You're still fired. And then he kind of lets him know what's happening here.
Yeah.
People kind of rely on these Christmas bonuses. And it's true.
Yeah, it's tough, when you're given a Christmas bonus every year, and you're you start to expect it. I know you shouldn't, but you kind of do. I mean, when you've been working for a company for so long and they've been giving you bonuses every year, you just start to expect it, and then people start getting dreams and start thinking hey, I can put in a pool. I just got to wait for the Christmas bonus, and and then this one year doesn't happen for him, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, and all Clark was trying to tell him is that, at least let us know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, we've done it for years. Yeah. We've got these bonuses. So we shouldn't, but we do depend on it.
Right.
Because it is kind of like the time and effort we put into this.
It is. Yeah.
And he's just banking money. Look at his office and that long table.
Yeah.
And his house, his mansion he's living in. He's doing okay. That company's doing okay.
Oh, he's doing okay.
That food and drug company's doing good.
Yeah. So then, while he was kidnapped, his wife had called the cops, and she described this big burly man in a blue suit. Took him away. Yeah. So then the cops show up, right? Mm-hmm. And this is funny because the cops are coming in. There must be 20 cop cars or whatever, and they're flying in. They're parking on the lawn. They're knocking over the Christmas decorations on the lawn, and they start running up to the door. And then you see these SWAT guys on the roof rappelling down the roof. They didn't even come from a helicopter. I don't know how they got there, but they're rappelling from the roof, and then they swing down and break in through the window.
Yeah, they actually break into Todd and Margot's place.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. At first, that's right.
They jump them. So
another fucking
those two just can't get away. And just before that, when Frank Clark's boss was kind of having like a change.
Oh right.
I love how he still calls him Carl. Like he just can't get his name right.
Right.
The whole movie just can't get it right. But he has this change of heart and. You know, this and that. But the cops swarm in there and they got all their hands up. And there's
Tell them to freeze.
Tells them to freeze, and I like how actually the other SWAT members freeze too. Not you guys!
Yeah.
This whole team freezes.
Yeah.
Not you. And at this moment, I don't know if you noticed at the scene when they're all of them are like have their hands up. Ellen, she has her hand on his crotch.
Well, she like the wife comes in because they bring the wife in, right, of the boss.
Yeah.
And she says, that's my husband there. And he goes, oh, honey, it's just a misunderstanding. And as they're introducing, Ellen says, oh, hi, I'm Ellen Clark's wife. And then as she shakes her hand and puts her hand back, she puts her hand back on his crotch.
Well, she had his hand on her crotch before. That scene. The whole scene she had when they froze there by the... No, she did.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that, but that's fine.
Okay, that was the one time I did rewind. I'm like, did she have her hand on his crotch the whole time? And she did.
Right.
When they're like freezing, she's like there, and she had it on his crotch. Then she shakes her hand, and then she puts it back on his crotch.
Right. Right. Apparently that was the only take. They did that take many times, and that was the one time that she had put her hand on his crotch during that take.
That's perfect.
So
that
it was an
awesome.
imperfect vision of Ellen. Yeah.
I love Beverly. Yeah. She's so perfect to be his wife in that movie. His place. So that's
the wife finds out that the boss
was being cheap. You're cheap.
You're being cheap. You skip Christmas bonuses, and he reinstates it.
And he tells him that he's not pressing charges.
Yeah.
So everything is good. He got a 25% raise.
Yeah, he says whatever I gave you last year,
25%.
Yeah.
So he's getting the pool and some.
That's right. Yeah. So everything is fixed, and
so he's going back to that mall lingerie shop. Woo!
I would. I would.
Yeah, and that's kind of
well. And then after everyone leaves and the cops leave and all that, and you see Clark. After this, actually, you see a green glow coming from the sewer, and of
course Uncle
Lewis is out there lighting up another stogie, and he chucks his match in the sewer, and it explodes, and Uncle Lewis goes flying, and the Christmas decorations, the Santa with the reindeer, go flying into the sky, and they're on fire, but they're shooting, so you get to see Santa and the reindeer flying in the sky. And as they pan away from Clark at the end of the film, you see Snot sitting there just staring at him.
Yeah, I love that.
The whole time.
Yeah, I love that.
It was awesome.
I'm kind of surprised that though with that big explosion that Cousin Eddie didn't get arrested.
Right? Yeah.
I mean that's kind of broke like every bylaw.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did.
Like he probably has no permit for that his RV.
No, not to be parked there. 2 weeks he was parked there.
2 weeks he was parked. Well, potentially
at some point.
Yeah, there should be like a Christmas Vacation, like 1.5 or something, 1.0 or something. Yeah.
And oddly enough, this Christmas movie doesn't actually take place on Christmas Day. It actually ends Christmas Eve.
That's perfect,
isn't it? It's kind of perfect, but it's kind of weird. But yeah, it's still kind of cool.
It's kind of weird, but I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. It was a neat little thing. I didn't realize that until like
it
doesn't happen Christmas Day.
I didn't really think of that.
Yeah, no one really does.
But I like how it ends, like you said, with Snot looking up at him.
Yeah,
like I thought that was only like fitting.
It was a great ending.
Great movie.
It was a lot of fun.
It's great to watch that every year. It's one of those movies that it never gets old. Puts a smile on your face. If I had like a family, I'd probably have them watch it. So I'm sure you got your the little Turks or tried to.
Oh yeah, I know for sure my kids have watched it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then maybe one day when they have a family of their own, they can introduce them to Christmas Vacation.
They better.
They're outside. They're out of the will.
That's right. Is there anything else you have?
Well, Did you know that they actually did a sequel to this movie?
Yes, they did. It was Cousin Eddie, right?
It was all about, because I've never seen it, but...
Yeah, I watched it. It wasn't that good. It just wasn't that great. I vaguely remember it, but I do remember watching it. It was about Cousin Eddie, and it didn't have the same charm.
And I'm sure that's probably one of those movies that went straight to video.
I think it did, yeah. I don't even think it made theater.
Well, and at those times, there was a lot of movies, like, it was just like that movie, Dream a Little Dream, with the two Corys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. I like that movie. It's kind of a different movie, but they also did a sequel that was just like garbage, and you're like, why would you do a sequel to this movie? And same with Christmas Vacation, why would you do that?
Right.
Because Cousin Eddie is entertaining. To have a whole standalone movie of him, I don't think it works.
No, not there.
I haven't seen it, but I'm just making an assumption that you got... Yeah. It is Chevy Chase, because like at the end of the day, yeah, Cousin Eddie's very entertaining, but it is a Chevy Chase vehicle.
It is. Oh, 100% it is. Yeah, it's all him.
But I don't really have anything else to say. This is, when I do watch a Christmas movie, this is the one I watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. I got a couple of things. Let's see here. Producer John Hughes originally brought on Christopher Columbus to direct, but even before cameras could roll, Columbus came to the realization that he could not work with the difficult Chevy Chase. After meeting him, so even though he desperately needed the job at that point in his career, Columbus decided to quit the project. He was worried it would end his career, but then Hughes brought him in to direct Home Alone in 1990, which became a massive hit a year later, so earning over 6 times the amount of money Christmas Vacation did, with a budget of almost $10 million less. So it was right of Christopher Columbus to hold on, because then he was available for Home Alone.
Yeah, and that movie was a
huge hit.
Huge. Like, it was a humongous hit.
It was.
Like, it was at one point one of the biggest movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, box office wise, and
the sequel did not too bad either. Not too bad.
And it's not too bad of a movie. Like,
it's not.
I do enjoy it.
It's fine.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't come nowhere near the original, but
right,
still good. And to go back to what you were saying about Chevy Chase being difficult, that has always been a common thing that you hear, that he was very difficult to work with. A lot of people, like Hollywood, they didn't like dealing with him.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because he was a perfectionist or something, or standoffish.
Maybe.
Because back in the day with Saturday Night Live, they essentially brought Bill Murray in to replace him, because at that time, Chevy Chase got so big on Saturday Night Live that he was overshadowing the show.
Right.
And it was kind of contentious with the other actors and that worked with the network.
Right.
And I believe in the beginning there, Bill Murray and him did not like each other. But I think over time, because you've seen them in interviews, that it's okay. Do you have any other tidbits? Because one thing I watched, you can find it on YouTube. Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo and Julie Lewis and Johnny Galecki, they've done like anniversary specials where you can see clips of them interviewing and talking about the movie. And you do see, because like Chevy Chase has a reputation of being difficult, but you do see like there's a real fondness between like these actors and himself, some reverence, towards each other. And it almost sounds like Chevy Chase is one of those actors. It was like Michael Richards for Seinfeld. He was right. If you ever watched like some of the extras of making that show, all the actors like Jerry, Elaine, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, and Jason Alexander, they would go into hysterics, and Michael Richards would kind of get annoyed with them, because it's like, this is serious stuff we're doing. This is money, and so he wouldn't want to like cut character. He wanted to like just be professional.
Yeah.
And maybe that's with Chevy Chase.
Maybe.
Because like if you hear about him outside, he's a really devout family man with his family. This was a guy that like loves his kids.
Yeah, I would assume so. I just had a couple things I wanted to touch on. Uncle Lewis there, played by William Hickey, was born 1927 and died in June 1997. He died at 69 years old, so he was quite a bit younger. Than
he was portrayed in the movie.
Yes. He was best known as an ancient mafia don in Prizzi's Honor 1985. Hickey had a long, distinguished career in film, television, and the stage. Began career as a child actor on the variety stage. Made Broadway debut as walk-on in George Bernard Shaw's St. Joan 1951. So he's had a really long career, and I just want to pay homage to some of the older actors and actresses that have passed away in the years. I don't think that people really think of them too much anymore. So and then of course Aunt Bethany, the bigger of the two stars. Her name was Mae Questel, or Questel, born September 13th, 1908, and died January 4th, 1998. She died at 89 years old. So she lived quite a long time.
Yeah, almost like 10 years after she appeared in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. She studied drama at Columbia University and belonged to the American Theater Wing. When Mae was 17, living in the South Bronx, she won a local contest to find the girl who most resembled Helen Kane, a popular singer known as the Boop Oop Doop Queen. She was promptly signed by an agent and began performing in the vaudeville circuit, billing herself as Mae Questel, personality singer of personality songs. She performed dead-on vocal imitations of Maurice Chevalier, Eddie Cantor, Fanny Brice, Marlene Dietrich, Mae West, and of course Helen Kane, among many others. Her mimic talent also provided duck, dog, chicken, owl, monkey, lion, baby sounds for radio shows. Betty Boop creator Max Fleischer heard Mae doing her Boop Oop a Doop routine and hired her to do the character's voice in 1931, so she voiced Betty Boop.
Okay.
I think that's huge.
That's the only thing I took out of that.
That's fine. I just thought I would, give some context to her career. I know. You're probably falling asleep over there.
No, it's like, holy shit, that's a lot.
I know, to most of you guys don't care. But I just think it's really cool that she played Betty Boop. That's a really standout character.
So are all the in-law, like the father-in-law and the parents, are they all passed on?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's
I think the mom of Clark is still alive. Okay. She's doing those reunion circuits with Chevy and...
I'm not 100% on all of them.
But the other ones, I think they passed on.
Yeah. And just one more thing. She also voiced Olive Oil as well from the Popeye.
Is this Bethany?
Yes. So, that's pretty amazing.
Makes sense. Yeah, she's had a
prolific career. Her voice is actually her main star. She's awesome. So, good on her.
Her voice is it sounds very familiar.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, she's got a great voice.
Yep. So sorry to bore you with some of the details.
No, it's right. No, it's okay.
But other than that,
that was good.
The cast was great. I had a good time.
It's a great movie. It's a tradition for a lot of families and for a lot of people. Because when you talk about, because I know one of your favorite is the Christmas Story, right?
That's another good one. Yeah.
We should do that one because I don't like that one.
You'd be like, this is...
No, that's perfect. I think that's perfect. We should have that one where we'll have to do that one and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of, why we're doing this podcast is that we're not going to talk about everything we like.
That's right. Yeah, we're getting each other's points of view in film. So I'm going to be watching a lot of stuff that you've seen and I have not. Yeah. And hopefully I'll make you watch some shit that I watch. So
yeah, that's right. And I'm ready for this shit.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So we'll end up watching The Skateboard Kid or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we did do Broken Arrow, but I'd like to revisit that one because I think that'd be a great one to talk about.
Oh yeah. You're right though. When you were critiquing a little bit to me, I was like, you're totally right about it. But I just love it because it's just so fun. It's a fun movie.
I'm very curious. I see that Con Air is on the Disney Plus, so I'd like to revisit that movie.
That's a good one.
I got a feeling that movie's not going to hold up to what I remember, but I don't fucking care.
Man, I think I watched it a couple years ago. I like it. I still like it.
Well, there's one I want to talk about with you that I want to do maybe in the new year. And I did mention it, so you know, but we got to keep this stuff secret. We want our audience to anticipate us. So anyways, what we're going to say with Christmas Vacation. Oh, what are you going to score this out of?
Yes.
How many Bethanies? No, just kidding.
No. We're gonna do Italian twinkling bulbs.
How many Italian twinkling bulbs do you have in this movie?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. No, 7. I'll give it a 7 because it's lighthearted, it's fun, it's stupid, but yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 2 rating system.
Okay.
As far as a movie, I'm gonna give it maybe 7. I'd say 6.5.
Yeah.
But as far as a Christmas movie, holiday movie, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Right on.
This is my if I do watch outside of The Grinch, the animated one, and Charlie Brown's Christmas. This is one that I like to watch every Christmas. After that, if I watch the other ones, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. This is a must for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how many
Good
Italian.
point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay.
Okay.
So that ends our retro podcast of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And like we said, watch this movie, enjoy it, but more importantly, enjoy spending time with your family, because that's what Christmas is all about.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you come from. Christmas is about family and being together.
Yep, 100%.
And of course, it's about Turk and Raz podcasting together, because we are brothers.
From different mothers.
From different mothers?
Cheers.
All right. And of course, you can find us on Twitter at Turk-Raz. You can find us on Spotify,
Audible, Podbean,
Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Oh, also on
Odyssey.
Yes.
Oh, so we're branching out here, people.
Yeah, so it's just another version of YouTube. Yeah. It's another video service. Thought we'd try something out just to diversify. So if you're on Odyssey, check us out.
Yeah, and also click subscribe. Just a click. And if you want, you like what we're doing, write a comment. We'd like to hear back from you.
Yep.
Even if you want to talk shit,
ask us anything.
We might talk shit back. All right. Take care.
All right.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.